Welcome to the KVJ After the Show podcast.
Kevin's eyes look insane, but he's got new hair. Virginia is a witch, and she farts in her chair. Jason is a spaz who's got an old man's ass. Welcome to the After the Show podcast.
Alrighty, here we go. Welcome to the KVJ After the Show podcast. It is a Wednesday, and if you're looking right now, being like, oh my gosh, it's so bright and sunny in that studio. What the heck is going on? Well, Jbird is out today doing medical testing, getting ready for his hip replacement surgery that is happening on Monday. He's got to make sure his body's up for it. So, Des, what's going on with that?
And normally he's afraid of the expanse of the horizon.
Yes.
It freaks him out with his anxiety. So we have to keep the shades blackout in here.
Yeah.
But when he's not here, we can open it up and we're like, a whole new world.
Yeah, right. Look at that. Beautiful sunny day.
So nice.
I know, right? It is like, whoa, I might forget we're doing a show and just be staring out the window.
It is a nice view we never see.
I know, right? Yeah. Never know what time of day it is, but you can tell right now it is lovely out there. So, and enjoy it, but it's a nice little trade-off to have Bird back tomorrow here.
Yes, and then he'll be out starting on Monday. But he'll still be, as much as he can, he says he wants to be on from his house, and we're going to set up a little camera and a microphone there. So provided he's not in too much pain, I think he'll be able to broadcast from his house.
Yeah, I mean, my hope and expectation is that it'll pretty much sound like the regular show. And, if you're watching, it shouldn't be disruptive at all. You'd be like, oh, he's at his house, and be like, that's kind of cool. So hoping that's what we wind up getting. I guess we'll find out when we get there what we see. But, yeah, so Monday will be his procedure, and he'll obviously need a few days. So I don't know how much we'll have him next week on the show. But then, yeah, as soon as he's feeling up for it, hopefully we'll have him plugging in every single day.
We need to set up those hidden cameras while he's having surgery on Monday.
Okay, yeah. He just comes home, has no idea. He just sees little red lights popping on all around his house.
18 nanny cams hidden in the crevices of his walls.
Yes. Oh, my goodness.
He'd be so mad.
So mad. Yeah, that I don't know if he'd ever come back from that one. That might be about it. Your husband Panda's in here. It's nice to see him. He's kind of hanging around.
Panda!
Yeah, doing his thing. People notice him. Got a couple of comments and things that people have sent to us. I noticed, I'm glad I got this response from one of our KVJ Nationers. I'm keeping her anonymous, but she had gone to Royal Palm Beach High School, and she knew a lot of the girls that had been sex trafficked out of Jeffrey Epstein's Palm Beach mansion. That was she was there in high school at that time when that was going on in the early 2000s.
She didn't go herself to the mansion, but she knew girls that did.
Yeah, she just said, look, I had parents that were a pain in the ass about everywhere I went, were all over me. And a lot of the other girls we've seen, it's the profile. They didn't have as much money, and they didn't have the kind of supervision from their parents that other kids did. And so that seemed to be the recipe that Ghislaine Maxwell and Jeffrey Epstein were kind of dialing into to try to find. In fact, there was a story today about Ghislaine Maxwell, somebody that was in her prison with her, and they said that she has horrible hygiene and smells awful.
Ugh.
Yeah.
There's also people all over TikTok saying that's not her.
I know. I've seen that as well. Yeah, we'd had that where they've gone in the bone structure in the face and the ears and
the nose, Kevin.
Right, I know.
That's the big thing that I have a problem with.
Yeah.
The current nose looks nothing like her old nose.
Who knows? The pun intended, who knows? Yeah, when you're talking about these people that had the resources they have, it's the kind of stuff that would happen on a soap opera, and you'd be like, come on.
This can't happen.
Yeah.
Surely she's really locked up, and that's not a body double.
They'd always do that bait switch, and then the person would come back, and they'd be the evil twin.
Huzzah!
Yeah. I remember that happened when I was a kid on Days of Our Lives. Tony was his evil twin, and nobody knew the whole time. Like going, gosh, Tony turned into an asshole.
Ghislaine is an asshole. She is the evil twin.
Yeah. Who knows?
I don't know.
They got
Just
in there.
Look at the nose. Everybody go look at the nose.
Mm-hmm. Well, Haley Robson was a Jeffrey Epstein survivor and says she was one of my classmates at Royal Palm Beach High School. She's been speaking out for years, and she's cooperated with the police and was not protected. She was at the State of the Union last night with Ro Khanna, a Democrat from California. I saw that. They were on TV. He was with her, and she was doing interviews and, just speaking out to it. I'm glad that they had that platform.
Yeah, do not lay up with the pressure, ladies, because the UK is over there doing it right, taking down multiple people now for the Jeffrey Epstein stuff.
Yeah, they are. I saw they got some other dude. I didn't know what his title was, but he was something. It sounded like they kind of got him for the same thing that they got the former prince for.
Exactly.
As well.
Get them however you can get them.
I agree. Yeah, if you don't have enough and you can't get the sex trafficking, find anything else they've done. Because look, when you would go and commit that kind of crime, there's going to be a lot of other things that you will. It's not like you're going to be morally upright on every other level in your life. You have got serious moral flaws to be able to do that. So you've made mistakes elsewhere. They just got to go find them.
Dirtbags are dirty.
Yeah, they are. Yeah. She said this interview is so powerful because she was lied to by everyone who promised to protect her. Our government is full of people who are pure evil. Thank you for your continued support. And absolutely, we will. The
Department of Justice is being called out right now. And from within, too.
Yeah.
People are saying, what the F? You guys are not doing it right. You're not arresting anybody, and you've got all these files that implicate so many people, and we don't even know because a lot of it's redacted.
Yeah, I don't think a lot of people are very satisfied. And I think the reframing of this narrative that needs to happen, this isn't a party argument. This is a power versus a non-power argument. And this is the kind of stuff. If we let them run roughshod over us on this, they'll continue to keep us in our box, to run the world the way that they see fit, commit these kind of crimes, and use us as their feed and their fodder. We are their game. We are their playthings. And that's just sickening to me. And so that's where I think we've got to put all party stuff aside, not even let it get like that, because that's what they're trying to do, is trying to get you, if we can get them fighting back and forth, left to right, that's not it. You need to fight up. Yeah.
Yes.
It needs to be a top to bottom kind of fight, not a left to right kind of fight. So we're all we're fighting for ourselves. We're fighting for our right in this country. And they're basically just saying, no, there should be an elite class, and you guys should be our minions, and you should do our bidding.
We can do whatever we want, and you can't.
There are a lot of people who do feel that way. And I see it. I observe it. I'm not in it, but I'm close enough to it that I can see people with those kind of attitudes, and it is a real thing.
It's a problem.
They do believe that you are well beneath them, and they'll continue to try to use you. Now, covering through some of the scandal that is out there, and the conspiracy theories go a little bit crazy. And I'd seen on Nextdoor, I didn't even realize that my shopping plaza had this license plate recognition, the LPRs, but people on Nextdoor, they needed something to be upset about, and they were happy they found it. So they're very upset. And I said, well, I don't even know. Why are you mad? Why does it matter? I mean, yeah, it's collecting my stuff. I said I would only be upset because one person had said, it's going to go to these data companies and they'll spam you. I'm like, okay, is that fact or fiction? And thankfully we got Cristiano here to separate the fact from the fiction. He said the license plate recognition and the timing of your increase in your email spam would not be correlated. Good. Somebody else is selling my information. I just got to figure out who the hell that bastard is.
Other emails that you've signed up for, those bastards are selling your email address to other bastards.
Oddly enough, I think the bastard might be my wife, because some of the things I'm getting are things I'm like, well, this seems like something my wife would be totally in. Why is she using my email address, the one that I use for all my work and everything to keep everything organized? Why is it coming to me? Like, this doesn't even make sense that I'm getting this email.
I'll tell you something else that's weird about you and her and your online and your phone footprint.
Yeah.
It texts me, and I'm getting texts now that say they're from Kevin.
Yeah.
But it's a picture of her.
Right.
And it's actually her.
It's a complete mess.
She was texting me yesterday, and I thought it was you.
Right.
And so I answered it with what she wanted, and then I was like, well, why do you need that? And then she wrote back this thing, and she was like, oh, well, it's for the school that I work at. And I was like, oh, is this Kim? This isn't Kevin? Like, I was spun.
Yeah, it's spitting a lot of people, and I'm like, we just, we run during the week. We don't have time, and then the weekends are like this Saturday. I got, we got the baseball game. There's just always something. We're gonna have to go, and this is the kind of crap. I don't know why it started. It just started. She can't figure it out. I can't figure it out. I don't know what the hell is going on, but we're gonna have to go. And it sounds like a half day type of thing where you have to go, and either it's the Apple Store or going to whoever our provider is. And sitting with them and be like, can you unpack this white? Because our whole family, we started to do the family share years ago, and that's where it's gotten all messy. So it's a complete disaster. Like, you don't know who from my family sending you texts or whatever. It's a mess.
I thought it was you, and I was like, why is he asking me that? And then she was like, oh, it's for the school I work at. And I was like, I don't think Kevin has a side job.
Yeah, no,
not yet.
It's not, but I know it is, and it's confusing a lot. She tells me, she's like, oh, they're trying to, so I'm like, yeah, I just got to deal with it. But again, I just got to, one of these weekends, I'm going to have to be like, no events, no nothing. I'm not doing anything, no damn baseball games, no nothing. Kevin is going to figure out what the hell is going on with his phone.
Well, looking at your schedule, you'll be able to do that, but it won't be until April 5th.
Yes, probably. Well, I think you're right, honestly.
That's the next free day you have.
And that's just
because you have my days.
Right, yeah.
And I have your days with our KVJ stuff. And April 5th is the next free day. And it's a Sunday, so the cell phone place is probably closed.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, that's why when people are like, why does he never get this? I don't have time. I really don't. I don't have a normal life.
And you also can't hand your phone over and say, go take care of it.
Yeah.
Because you need it.
Yeah. It's just, it's got me handcuffed, and my life is just out of control. I'm in a blender, and I'm not controlling the buttons. I'm just in there. I'm on puree.
When does the blender stop?
Death. Honestly, I really believe for me it is death. And, some people, I'm sometimes like going, you know what?
Death isn't that bad.
A dirt nap would not be the worst thing for me.
I get to go home to Jesus.
That's it.
See my mama.
Yeah, me and mama just hang out, catch up. Be great times. So he went on here, Cristiano, to say, I've had direct exposure to how these systems function architecturally. There is no native mechanism within a commercial LPR deployment that retrieves personal identity information such as name, phone number, or email address. In Florida and federally, access to DMV linked personal data is regulated under the Driver's Privacy Protection Act. Private commercial entities cannot query a license plate to obtain personal contact information. So you see people saying that on Nextdoor. It doesn't work that way. They can't get all your information, like you had even brought up, by getting your license plate.
Right. Your license plate doesn't correlate to your email, but it does correlate to your address. And I would be suspicious of anybody who's looking and wanting your address. Like, why do you want that?
Yeah. For a plaza operator to have someone's email, it would require a separate interaction layer, such as a parking app registration. Now, that would be interesting because that's what I was thinking of, because I know with the Park Mobile that I use and you'll use if you're in West Palm Beach.
Yeah.
I'd be like, that would be connected. And that's what I was thinking it would be like.
Gotcha.
So the license plate would go right to my Park Mobile app, which does have my credit card information, does have my email address, does have all that information. When I saw that, that's why I thought it was plausible. So, but it doesn't mean that the complex itself has that. But yeah, they would be able to get that if they had that access. Wi-Fi captive portal login, payment processing tied to an email, loyalty. So it seems like there's a second step. But yeah, a license plate recognition camera would connect to your Park Mobile, and then they would be able to get everything. So if the city decided to sell, and hopefully city governments aren't selling off your information.
Well, I don't think the city would do that.
I wouldn't hope.
All it takes is one rogue employee that has access, or a bad firewall, or somebody didn't pay for your Norton protection subscription because the credit card. There's so many things that could go wrong because of human error.
Now, Cristiano does say that there are some legitimate and often focusing on retention policies is what's issued with the LPR cameras and data aggregation. However, technically speaking, the camera system itself would not have a direct pathway to an individual's email inbox. So it just depends upon knowing that my shopping plaza has the information. I'm probably okay. But if other people had these cameras, like connected to my Park Mobile, then yes, they could use it to get your information.
The shopping plaza's information, wherever they store that data, can absolutely be hacked.
Sure, yeah.
And then whatever somebody does with that, you don't know.
Yeah.
Everybody can be hacked, including your doctor's office, your dentist's office, all these places where you go and you've given them your social and you've given them all your insurance information and they have your credit card on file. Like, they're all hackable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now, another thing we were talking about was the upcharges. Somebody had gone into a restaurant, I think it was J. Alexander's in Tampa, and they noticed they had a $3 packaging fee, and they brought out their camera and were asking the assistant manager who kicked them out of the place and didn't give them an answer.
Yeah, I don't think that guy handled it right. I'm telling you, J. Alexander's is not going to be happy with him just kicking the guy out. The guy wasn't belligerent. He was just like, okay, so explain to me how you think this is okay.
You know, some people I am getting emails, people justifying it, saying, well, they had special packaging at J. Alexander's. That's why they have to charge you. It does cost money if somebody's just putting the food on a plate. So there is that. To me, I would just rather write that into the price of the food. And they don't do that because they know that you won't make the sale. But to me, that's what's shady about it, because you are doing trickery. It is a trick to my eyes. It's kind of like how they put the 99 cents at the end of a price because they know that if you see it rounded up, that 1 penny makes a whole big difference because now you're into a different category. It's the same thing with this. Let me be able to make an honest decision if I want to spend my money. So the $3, that's fine if that's your packaging fee for your supplies, but put that in the price of the entree so then I decide if that's too much for me or not.
And are they charging the people that dine in and get a to-go box for the food that they don't finish?
Not sure how it all breaks down, and that's it. To me, I just like full disclosure on things like that, and that's what the issue was. Like, if you had that front and center that there is a $3 packaging fee, you could do that too, but it's got to be something where it's definitely noticeable. And these are the kind of things that people right now really have an eye out for. Somebody said I ordered an old-fashioned, and they charged me $2 for ice. When I asked them about it, they said it was because it was a heavier pour, which just charged me more for the drink. Then don't put $2 for ice. So, you know, these are the kind of things where I don't feel like they're being very transparent and people feel like they're being scammed. And look, we're all on high alerts about scams. Every day, there's at least one scam that concerns me. I've already had my one scare today. So, you know, actually two. I've had the cameras and I've had another one. So it's like every day. So you see, I have heightened scam alertness. And then I just read how Florida is like the #1 scam capital for was it identity theft?
Yeah, identity theft and fraud.
Third in the country, but #1 for identity theft and fraud. So if you're a Floridian, you're just on high alert. So when you see these things, I think you immediately react with anger and contempt because you feel like they are just another person that's trying to pull the wool over your eyes. You know, just be honest, be transparent. I would love you a lot more. If you say, yeah, we're a little bit more expensive, here's the legit cost, and you know, if it's not something you can afford right now, we'd love for you to come back when it's a special occasion and spend your money here then. But then they would be like, we can't do that because then we lose so much business. But all you're doing is just really cheating people. Don't like it. And look, 80% of people probably don't catch it.
Right.
You know?
I'm going fast. I don't even notice it when I'm getting my to-go food, picking up. Like, they would get me.
Yep. I can't even text with my own face and name.
Every text I get from other people has your name on it.
Yeah, I'm just wondering who is it coming up for me? Like Gilberto Sanchez? And no wonder no one's responding to my text. I'm like, gosh, man, all of a sudden people hate me. I can't get any responses to anything. Krista has a comment here because we had a response about Am I the Jerk? And that was cleaning your tables. And she said, in response to the person who said that they actually weren't a jerk, even though 80% of the people said you are a jerk if you leave your tray at a fast casual restaurant and get up and walk out, she said you need to clean up after yourself. It's basic. If the table is dirty, ask an employee to help you out. And that was his rationale, saying when they come over to get the tray, then they'll wipe the table. If they don't, then the table's going to remain dirty. She said, as a grocery manager, if my cart guy is bringing in your cart, he's not helping bag groceries or helping little old ladies to their car. So you're kind of a jerk because you're making them work for you when they should be working for someone else that needs it more. That's her point. Okay. So she says he's still kind of an asshole. And a little heads up here. Cassandra said for Valentine's Day, I got my boyfriend a basket full of candy, including a bag of Reese's animal crackers that I found at Target.
Somebody in the room likes those.
Easy now.
How do you feel? Because in fact, I saw the guy lives in West Palm Beach. The grandson of the Reese's, whatever his name was, B.H. Reese's or something like that, who came up with the actual peanut butter cup. He had tried it, and then he called him out because I think even the labeling on it, because they can't label it milk chocolate anymore because of the way they do it. It's almost like a film of chocolate that they're using, and he called him out. But then Reese's, who is now owned by Hershey, tried to call him out and say, no, we haven't changed a thing. And he's like, well, then what's this? That is different. He said, why don't you call it milk chocolate like we used to? He said, well, we can't because... So in a sense, he kind of came back and called their bluff.
Yeah. Sorry. All that palm oil and all that other stuff, it tastes different. You can tell.
Yeah. So they were trying to... Hershey was trying to say, no, it's just... But you could tell they were dancing with that lying in the semantics.
Right.
You know, it just felt shady. Like they, in a sense, weren't... They're kind of lying, but it's lying light, if that makes sense. But you're still, like I said, the $3 charge. It's not really lying, but it's lying light.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of companies like, oh, well, it's a gray area. We're okay if we're in the gray.
It's trickery by these big corporations, a.k.a. the elites. Mm-hmm. And they know that you are powerless in the transaction.
Now, Cassandra said that my boyfriend is obsessed with the Reese's cups. He said the Reese's animal crackers were like crack. He didn't even touch the Reese's cup. I think Jbird will love these. So she's got a ringing endorsement that they're still doing good stuff that her boyfriend likes.
He knows the Reese's. My husband loves the animal crackers.
The only reason I know about them is because of our son, Rocco.
Oh, yeah.
He loved them. And I was like, you know what? Let me try one of these. Dude, I hammered almost a half a bag by myself.
They're amazing,
These are great.
Really?
But to her email point, the Reese cups don't taste I don't like them anymore.
Right.
It's weird, man.
They taste different.
They have been the number one candy. When we talk about Halloween candy, you name whatever you have them for. It is and it's not even close. The gap in percentages in the voting is typically 20 to 30%. Like Reese's Peanut Butter Cup has far and away been the favorite candy of Americans. I'd say for the last 5 to 10 years that we've been doing polls on it. Crazy. And I'm just wondering if that's going to start dropping off. It feels almost like it's a unanimous outcry that people are saying they're not the same.
Yeah. And I like snacks. I mean, Bird's documented that.
He is a snack
Birds of a
man.
feather. We flock together.
Yeah.
But I'm a Twinkie guy.
Okay.
Twinkie's gone the same way. Like the Hostess snacks do not taste the same to me anymore.
Really?
Because they're changing out your ingredients for cheaper ingredients. They're putting stuff in them to make them have a longer shelf life so that they can have more profits. And they're not giving you a deal on your Twinkie. Your Twinkie is just as pricey as it was before, but they're using substandard ingredients and chemicals and giving it a longer shelf life so they can make more money.
There you go.
There are two different ways to look at this. And the one that I wonder, and maybe if they're here, they're saying it's not to make bigger profits. It's to stay in business. And if we didn't make these changes, we wouldn't even be in business. So you wouldn't be able to get our product. Now, I think that could be some companies. Some of the other ones, I think you are right, where they are just saying, you know what? We only made 8% profit on that. I want to make 18%. And so they are doing those kind of things so that they get a larger profit. But they were profitable before and they had no risk of going out of business. And I think there's a difference. If it's a company that's just trying to keep the lights on, I'm like, all right. But I still like the disclosure. And maybe people will rally around your product and be like, we don't want you to go out of business. And they'll help you out. That's to me, treating your fans the right way. When you're trying to rob them, manipulate them, lie to them just so that, the CEO can have 2 other yachts, then that's when that annoys everybody. So,
sure.
Again, I think it goes back to how a lot of us feel that it's a top-bottom fight going on in America. That really is what it is. I think when we reframe it, that's a lot of what is going on. Just look at the number of freaking billionaires we've got in South Florida right now. It's crazy.
It is crazy.
I can't remember Palm Beach, how many it was. I think Miami's 35 billionaires. And that's why it jumped out to me because I heard a commentator saying, in Alabama where they're trying to pay football players now, they're like, they have two billionaires in the whole state. And we're talking one city has 33 or 35 billionaires. One city.
That's bonkers.
Not the state. That's one city. And then that's not adding Broward and Palm Beach. And Palm Beach probably has at least 20.
people fight about this on TikTok, but there are a lot of people that looked into it, and they say that Big Tobacco, R.J. Reynolds, bought. When people stopped smoking, they went into the food processing business and bought Nabisco, Kraft.
Okay.
And they're just using the same formula. Get Americans hooked on whatever it is you're making.
Right,
Figure out how to make it sexy and get them all hooked, and then you'll never go out of business. And here's why. The food is worse than the tobacco because not everybody smoked, but everybody eats.
Yeah, no, you're right. And honestly, now it seems like the new demonization is on the food products. It seems like whatever product they are putting front and center to Americans, we're one by one attacking and trying to kill it. And look, the food is, to me, the number one thing that's demonized, what we're putting into our bodies. Now, I mean, I'm here for it. I'm happy about that. But yeah, you just got to wonder with a company like that, what are you doing? Where's the morality at the top of that company with everything you do? That's
your elitists right there that don't give a shit about morality.
I can promise you, those people that are the CEOs and are making the money off that, they don't eat that product.
No.
They do not consume it. And that to me is what's crazy. If you went in their cupboards, you probably wouldn't find one of their food products they sell to us.
You would not.
Yeah.
Because they know what's in them and they know it's harmful to humans and it creates addiction. It creates addiction. It's like a drug.
Now, Tiffany, one food debate we had was on Do It Bitch and on the salad dressings. Tiffany said, where do I buy the French onion dressing to put on my salad? Seriously, it sounds delicious.
It's right next to the Parmesan blue cheese.
That
which
sounds amazing.
Also doesn't exist.
It doesn't?
No.
Oh, okay.
Now, Ashley says, in response to the message from whoever said the Parmesan blue cheese was not a dressing, here's a screenshot of what came up when I searched it. And you can see it says Parmesan blue cheese dressing is a rich, savory, and tangy dressing that combines the bold, pungent flavor of blue cheese with the salty, nutty depth of Parmesan cheese. It's commonly used for wedge salads or as a dip for chicken.
You can totally create a Parmesan blue cheese.
For salads, wedge salads.
Show me on the shelf.
Wedge
I need to know who makes it.
Tell me who makes it. It doesn't exist.
I don't know. I mean, it says right
I can't believe we're still fighting about this 3 days later, but...
Wedge salads.
Yeah, because somebody makes it by combining blue cheese and Parmesan.
So you're saying it's not a dressing still?
Show me where it is.
You have to make it.
You have to make it. Yes.
Situation.
Hidden Valley Ranch ain't coming out with that.
Neither's Paul Newman.
Nope.
Paul Newman ain't coming out with anything.
No new flavors.
If he comes out with something, you're like, gosh, man, that guy's good.
Marie, she ain't making it either.
Yeah. Curtis, common theme that's going on here. It says Virginia is, in all caps, wrong. You guys were talking about the sheriff in Polk County, and she said that other sheriffs think of him as a clown. I want to know if she has heard this word from an actual sheriff like Bradshaw, or if she's just making shit up as usual. Grady Judd is a national treasure. He is clowning the idiot criminals. We need him.
He wants to be a TikTok star. We see you. We see you.
But you said he was a clown. You said other sheriffs think he's a clown. So how do you base that comment? Where is the source of the information for that statement?
I'm not saying nothing. I just know what I know.
Oh, okay.
Let's leave it at that.
Oh, okay.
No,
did the same person tell you that there was not that salad dressing?
Yes, the same person told me there is no Parmesan blue cheese.
You have one source for all the misinformation?
I do.
Okay, that's good.
It's called TikTok. That's my favorite source for everything.
Okay, that's good. Did hear back from Kim. I had read her email on the regular show yesterday because I just wanted to clarify. I think she was horrified that I was making light of the 13-year-old who had his neck slashed by the box cutter in Daytona Beach. And I just wanted for anybody who might have misrepresented that conversation or misunderstood the conversation that I was in no way making any light to the incident. It was horrific. It was terrible. It was wrong. It was scary. Anything that I had said that was in light or in jest was the reaction of the 13-year-old and his mom when they did a interview together on Fox News. And thankfully, outside of the stitches, yes, it could have been touch and go, but it wasn't. And thankfully, he's okay. And the dynamic was he had said something and his mom kind of rolled the eyes like, oh, my stupid son. And then she started saying something like he was having night terrors. And he kind of looked at her like, huh?
And he rolled his eyes.
And he was looking at her like, huh?
But
like, I'm not. So
you related to that because you and your mom had that same kind of relationship.
Right. And it was very amusing to me watching that dynamic. And so I wanted to clearly put a divider between the two incidences, what happened to that kid and then the interview itself. It's like the interview could have been on any subject whatsoever. So I do not condone or want to make light of that. She said, thank you for taking the time to read my email and respond. I also realized my intent did not come across clearly. I understand you were commenting on the dynamics between the mom and her son, something any of us with teenagers can relate to, and not the crime itself. My concern was that it shifted the focus and made the story feel lighter than it truly was. The interview was about a 13-year-old who was randomly attacked and nearly killed, and the humor detracted from the seriousness of that reality. I also can't help but think about the two local victims of Ryan Rogers and Rita Lon Herrick, whose horrific murders remind us of how quickly senseless violence can turn fatal. Intent and impact aren't always the same, and that's all I was trying to express. And I apologize for the do better comment, as that came from emotion, not disrespect. I truly love your show, which is why this stood out to me. Yeah, I mean, look, we're a lighthearted show, and so I've even kind of told you that it was serious stuff. We don't spend a lot of time on it because it's just not why people come here. And so sometimes it's tough because we want to give the right respect to something, but we're not going to sit there and dwell on it. And the whole show's mood is going to be, oh my gosh, life crazy, oh, horrific. So, we try to acknowledge that, but then we've got to move on to being entertaining and funny. And so we're what gets my attention for this show is something that I find amusing or entertaining or that you can laugh at. And so I understand that sometimes it might be too, close to you and the lines might be blurred, but that's why I just wanted to make that line crystal clear. And so, again, sometimes I tell people this show's not always for you, but that's how I proceed and that's how we'll always proceed because that's what KVJ is. So, I stated that. I think it was very serious. And yes, everything you said, very serious stuff. But we're going to try to focus on what was humorous.
And we got to keep it light. And we got to have some fun and be able to make it a moment where we can all laugh and have a good time. We can't live in sadness around here.
Yeah.
KVJ has to bring you up from that sadness.
Yeah. So all respect to Kim, and I appreciate that she wrote back, and I appreciate her thoughts. And look, I do appreciate when people do email because there are some times I got to check myself, and sometimes I think in my head it came out a certain way and it didn't. So, I'm always doing that, and I would definitely call it where I'm wrong. But on that, I just hopefully I said it clearly, and only Kim was the one who took serious offense to it because I didn't want anybody think I would make light of that situation.
No.
I would never do that. So anyway, sorry if that was the case. Thank you to Kim for writing back to us. Doug with a little explanation here because we couldn't figure out why the Pittsburgh Pirates are called that. And Denny's, as we were asking him, we had him try to tell us the team that played in the city, and the Pittsburgh thing that threw him way off.
We might have been here all day if he had to come up with it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So what Doug had said was you were wondering why the Pittsburgh baseball team is called the Pirates. Well, they were founded in 1881. They were called the Alleghenies. And in 1890, the Pittsburgh team signed a player from the Philadelphia Athletics, now in Las Vegas. The player was a highly regarded second baseman, and the Athletics called the move piratical. The signing caused a rift in the league at the time, which led to its collapse. And in 1887, the Pittsburgh team moved to the National League, although the Alleghenies were never found guilty of wrongdoing. Their allegedly piratical act gained them the occasional nickname of the Pirates from newspapers around the country starting in 1891. And within a few years, the nickname caught on. Even in the Pittsburgh newspapers, they called them the Pirates.
Huh.
How about that? That's kind of crazy. So that's why they're I did not know that.
That's pretty cool.
I do.
Am I close? It sounds like somebody made that up.
Yeah.
I think, Kev, Pittsburgh, too, is the only city that all their major sports teams have the same color schemes. The Penguins, black and yellow. Steelers, black and yellow. Pirates are black.
I
and
think
yellow.
you're right, and that's really smart because you think about what we've got here in South Florida. I think they're all different, right? Dolphins
Crazy,
different,
yeah.
Heat red black, Panthers red blue.
Yep.
Inter Miami pink, black white. Yeah, we don't have anyone that's the same. So yeah, your whole closet looks different. I mean, if you're in Pittsburgh, black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow. I mean, that's all you need.
It's way easier on your wallet. You just need black and yellow.
Well, you think about if you had black pants or yellow pants or whatever, you could wear it with whatever jersey you need. And yeah, it definitely does cut down on how much you got to buy. It does seem pretty smart. And got this email here from one of our KVJ Nationers, Mr. Howe, talking about the fire hazard in the acreage. Last night, my neighbor's house caught fire.
Oh, no.
About 6 or 7 houses down from me. I believe no one got hurt. I started hearing a circling helicopter. Being nosy, I stepped outside to see the sky glowing red. Fire department responded very quickly. So they are on it. But it's just kind of a note that, be diligent on that. Don't be careless with any kind of, sparks and flames and all that stuff. And I heard, you may not even think about it, but some people, if you have like the industrial sized chains on the back of a pickup and that hits sometimes on concrete or pavement, it'll spark. And they didn't realize, they said that is one of the biggest things that starts some of these fires.
Oh my gosh.
You think about this by the side of the road, you think of where these fires go on. You'd be driving up the Turnpike or I-95 and certain places, especially around Daytona, it seems like that area gets a lot. And I know the Treasure Coast does as well. But yeah, if you had that and a chain fell out of the back of your truck and the grass is right by the side, spark shoots right into it, kaboof. There you go, baby.
Dang.
Yeah, and so we are in a historic drought. It's been 25 years since it's been this dry. And, we're not going to be in the wet season for a little while now.
And we had a lot of, I don't know about by you, but I had a lot of vegetation die and is dying. It's getting brown and crusty from the cold snap. Mm-hmm. A lot of palm fronds, a lot of bushes, a little brown and crispy.
Yeah, absolutely. So just kind of a heads up there that that kind of stuff is going on. All righty. Well, we're going to blow out of here. Bird back tomorrow as we head towards another weekend. Drink in that sunshine, y'all. The blinds go back down. All right, y'all. Thank you so much for checking us out. Get those emails to us. Mail at kvjshow.com. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Goodbye.